I don't know what's going on with this phone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is covered. It is covered. No nudity. Quickly, the devil card. If you have any questions, I am Miss Marie. This is giving it to you straight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. No violations. Stay your zodiac sign when you come in. I am such, such, such. The following readings for the following zodiac signs only, questions only. I have to limit my time here. If you know, you know. If you're woke, you know. If you don't know, then the devil card, what does it mean? This is not going anywhere. This is you. Okay? This is you. This is you. This is you. Look at it. Now you hear many songs. If you have chains, God is a chain breaker. God will deliver you from your struggles, your hardships, your addictions, your pleasures of the earth. Where does the devil come from? Who made the devil? Why does the devil exist? Why do we have the devil energy? What is the bad? What is the things that are morally correct? The Bible speaks of sin, of, if you sell the soul to the devil, meaning that if you want premature power, if you want premature power, if you have, the darkness, our relationship with that. So yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the devil card. The devil is you. You're not going anywhere. You're here. You're confined to the five senses. Okay, the Ahu, the bat, mythological creature here that you see is simply a mammoth. A bat is a mammoth. It's in our DNA. Some of the genome. Okay, it is within us, so we carry that animal with us. It's a fleeing energy. So when you understand the Baphomet, the anti-gravity, the device, the black box, why are they holding it secure? To be secure in place, right? Strict rule. The devil is anybody that come to cause some harm on you. It doesn't look like that. The devil doesn't look like that. The devil doesn't look like horns. So we look at our evolution from the ocean, the shells, the seashells. So the devil doesn't look like that. Or those are creatures. All right. So you look at the bat, and they are mammoth. Also so you're looking at a mammoth. All right. We all are mammoth. We are creatures. This bat. Well, we have bat in our DNA. So when you understand that they are there placed securely for security reasons. Okay. For anti-gravity reasons. So when you really understand the devil's energy, anybody that causes a threat against you, power, your religion, your beliefs, is your adversary. Anybody that causes harm on you is seen as a devil. All right, there was a story between Seth and Horus, and how he came to avenge his father's death, and then that's how the devil came to be. Anybody that causes a harm against you is a devil. All right? Anybody that causes a threat to your beliefs, that is a devil. Anything that opposes any threat to the way you live your life, of course, the most thing here is causing harm, malicious intent. So these two people are confined to the structures here of K. Like they have chains for purposes, for security. All right? So when Jesus came and showed them the truth about their identity, right? This is what it symbolizes. So there's a lot of different layers to the devil's energy, but the devil's an adversary. Anybody that causes And it doesn't look like that, by the way. Or that's just a symbol of a Baphomet. All right. It's been used in different cultures through different timelines and different lifetimes here. So when you truly understand the symbol and the truth behind the devil card, and you look at the mammoth, because it's a it's a creature, it's a hybrid. So according to legend, not me, the the gods or the extraterrestrial beings will disguise themselves as these creatures to give them some information on how to build, how to grow, what are the things that they need to do. And so this is how the symbol became. So when you look at this devil, and yeah, there are bad things. There are bad things that happen in the world. They are bad things. Hey, Simp. Welcome, Virgo. Welcome. Go check out. I did a short. This is the only way I'm going to answer questions here. You see your video, go give it a like. Let me know what kind of experience you had here with me. This is how I'm moving forward. I waste too much time here. And if you don't got it by now, if you don't understand it by now, then it's going to take way, way too much time. You will watch yours from however you resonate. But welcome. So when you look at the devil, it tells you that anybody that comes to cause a threat against your beliefs, right? That is your adversary. It doesn't look like this. This is a symbol of a creature. These extraterrestrial beings will come and they will disguise themselves to give them information. But they are here for security. This is a black box, and this is an anti-gravity kind of energy. So listen, this is you. All right. So if you're abusing the gift of life, that's up to you. All right. If you're addicted to, or you got obsessions here, this is not going away. The least you could do is have some self-restraint. All right. That's what they're doing. There's a level of self-restraint that we must have. But this is all about the anti-gravity. Listen, so the cruelty. Okay. So when you look at cruelty and the things that people do to gain to hurt other people. So if you're not doing anything malicious, if you're not setting no evil plans, plotting no evil schemes, right? You're just simply trying to, because they're not trying to have premature power. They're really actually doing the hard work that it takes for them, because they're meeting the devil right where, because they're not asking the devil, oh, release me here and let me be free. So let me have premature power there. That's not what's happening there. Okay? And so when you really get down to this energy and really understand the struggle, right? Because this chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Okay? So that means that you're strong. And the reason that, you're strong, and that's the reason why you probably put up with a lot. Okay? This is probably why you work so hard and feel like you have to be kind of a slave to your job, right? To your person. Like you don't have to. So this animal came to to actually get him out of that. Okay? So if you're not growing in your job, if you're not growing with your person, if there's limitation, there's jealousy, there's obsession, of course, this is where you have to tell yourself, am I really working like hard? Am I putting a lot of overtime, a lot of work here? So you really got to understand this card. All right? It's not going away. I don't leave no cards behind. All right? So if it comes out, so I just want to break it down as low as possible, as much as possible, because it's not going, And so when you look at the limitations and the things that you're willing to put up with and not do anymore, all right? So if you're like, if you're when it's too much sex, anything that you do too much is toxic. So that could go into addiction, drugs, that could go into smoking, that could go into food, eating, that could go into too much religion, anything that you do too much. So if you feel like you're working overtime, right, because this is given to Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't mind doing the hard work that most of us don't want to do. All right, so this is resilience, this is structure, this is discipline, this is Saturn. If you are saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to have to do what I have to do, darkness doesn't have a trauma with money. All right, darkness says I have to do what I have to do to make, right, to make a living. And so you really got to understand, it goes further than that, but I just really want you to understand that this is not going away. All right, this is a mythological creature. However you understand the Baphomet, or you look, even when you look at the horns here, we're talking about the bottom of the ocean, because these horns represent the shells under the sea. So you really got to really understand this card. All right. If you have a question, ask a question. I'm only doing any questions here for a few zodiac signs, so it's not going to be everybody. So I'm going to put it each live. And if you're a Virgo, if you got a question, come on in. The signs that I'm not going to be doing: Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, Pisces, and who else? Yeah, I think that's it. So no more questions until further notice. All right, you're probably gonna have to watch and really learn, and yeah, a lot of things. Okay, maybe you're not ready, so I don't know exactly where you at, mentally, if you're understanding some things, right? But to really grasp your mind about the things that I'm gonna talk about, it's gonna be. So if you're not ready, I understand. If you're ready, I understand. But if you're not, this is not a channel for you. Okay. Because if you haven't learned by now, you're not going to get it. So Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, who else? Pisces, unfortunately. Yeah, 4. Yeah, just 4 signs. I will not be taking no questions from you guys. I'm sorry, but my time is limited. And so, yeah, so I put on the short for all 12 zodiac signs. If you didn't understand me the way I read, if you spend a lot of time with me here, you're not gonna understand me moving forward. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I don't want to waste your time and my time. If you're expecting lies and BS, is not gonna happen here. It's not. I want you to grow, to expand your consciousness. This is one of the reasons that I'm here. When you stare the truth in the face, when you look at the devil doesn't look like that. It looks like you. It looks beautiful. All right? So please understand that this ain't going away. This ain't going away. To understand the Baphomet or the Ahul or the bat and the DNA, it's in our DNA, okay? We have this, the animals in our DNA. How do I control my animal? How do I secure myself so the animal don't take over? All right? And really understand the Capricorn, the resilience that's in that earth sign, and how they're willing to really work really hard and do the work that most of us don't do. Okay. And so if that makes them mean, if that makes them mean, and if that makes them, seem, because it's a form of discipline that you must understand, that we must have. Okay. And yeah. In order to have success, you must be willing to put the hard work in. And that's one of the things that Capricorn do. All right. So, baby. Ooh, baby. Let me find. This is my devil's folder, and what negative and darkness is all about. My folder is bigger than this. All right. So this is if you chose the left-hand path. If you chose the left-hand path, all right, you still got to merge to the 1. It doesn't really matter. So Anthony Levi, 1966, he said to have the Church of Satan, the Satan. So that is true. So this talks about the sigil of Baphomet, one of the sky gods here. So one of the extraterrestrial will come and give them messages here. All right. He used that symbol, Anton Livy. He used the goat's head as a symbol. All right. And so we're looking at the iconographic of the Church of Satan. That pentagram or pentacle became associated with evil. All right. Because anti-Levi, he used this for a Satan kind of ritual, so then it became that. But the pentagram has always been used extensively in magic, ritual, ceremony, magic, Wiccan practices. In this context, it seems as a symbol of faith and protection. But today, they are used with mistrust in Christian contexts. But a positive symbol in witchcraft and the occult circle. Maybe in the future it will be different, all right? But right now it is tarnished because of Anton Levi, all right? Before it became tarnished, it was just a symbol of protection, and it represented us here on earth. So we're not going anywhere. And we are children of the cosmos, of the stars, and our connection to the divine stardust, etc. So that, of course, when you understand the symbol of the devil, because it's not going anywhere, it's part of you. So before it became tarnished, it was a symbol of protection. Okay, and that symbol represents us here on earth. All right, and a lot of the gods, they used to disguise themselves as these hybrid creatures in order to bring information to the human. Okay, and so what you see that they have a chain around their neck because they are secure in place, because they were showing them, all right, and giving them tools and how to like anti-gravity. All right, so this also represents another symbol with the moon and the gravitational pull. All right, so anyway, so when you look at the star, that the first sign of consciousness, right, of the human form of consciousness were stars, and that is our spirit form, and our spirit has the same power as the neutron star, the mitochondria power. That's a source step down capacitor to allow us to be able to seep into the physical form without spontaneous combustion. combustion. All right. So understand how, right? So I guess giving them so anybody that's come to bring you some knowledge of truth, they are the devil. Okay. So we could go in the Bible and we could talk about the gods and goddesses that were fighting, all right, and how we were made here. So you really got to understand things, all right. So when we look at our spirit that has the same power, we wasn't aware of that, bringing them some truths here about, their identity here. Could have been like the owl, the ahu, But then this goes back. They got so many different stories here. Hopefully I could go really, really deep and give them all to you. All right. For the ones that are really interested. Okay. So la 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 la. A chain. If you see the chain around them, a chain, the metaphoric, the chain is only as its weakest link. Okay? That means that as a group or organization, it's only as strong as the weakest or the least powerful person. Okay? So that means that success of the entire group depends on the success of each individual as a group. If one individual fails, then the entire group fails. Okay? So, let me see what else. So the proverb changes only as its weaker links. Thomas Reed, 1786. So certainly if I have a length of a chain and apply equal but opposing force to both ends, the chain would likely fail or break uh, at its weakest link. All right? So that chain is only as strong as you're weak. If you're weak, right? So really to understand the metaphoric behind it, all right? There's a lot here why this negative and positive, they need each other, all right, in order to grow, because this is about when you grow in dark. Like if you're not growing where you're at, then you're really wasting your time, because we are light creatures and dark. We are in the balance between the light and the dark, the forces of nature, right? Because we're here, we're of the earth, we're gonna like things of the earth, all right? I really wanna, one of my most important things why I'm here, all right, is because of this card, to be honest, and to really, because when I used to watch tarot, and I only watched it for on and off for like a year, and I was like, the devil. I was to get scared. So I understand. I understand why you'd be scared when you see this creature, and to really look at it. All right, and to really get that all that the program that you've been told and the things that you've been, teach. All right. And I know there's a lot. It's a lot of information when it comes to like who made the devil. See, like I ask people that go to church, who made the devil? How come the devil's here? That's the questions that I ask people. So who is if God created everything in heaven, right? If God created both good and bad from its single being, right? So God has always been. So who made God is what I ask people. So how come we had the devil? How come evil exists in our? So we got to look at that. So this will go really, really deep when we look at why does evil exist? Why? Why do people do bad things? Why do young people, why do they die premature death? What is the darkness? What is our relationship with the dark? Why are we scared of the dark? So we got to ask ourselves a lot of questions. So when nobody cannot give me Bible theologians, Bible scholars, right? If nobody can really give me an answer, where does the devil come from? You gotta have to ask yourself, what is it really? What am I really made of? Why do I get angry when things don't go my way? Right? Why do I like things? Why do I like to eat certain foods? Why do I like to have sex? Why am I here to create? Like, you really got to ask yourself questions to really break down the devil's energy, because it's a very tricky kind of energy if you really don't understand it. So if I put it reverse, I'm going to get lived. Okay? That's the only thing. And I'm trying to break that clue down. But if you let these creatures that are just creatures, because that's what they are mythological creatures, and the way that our ancestors would learn how to explain, right, the things that they seen that they couldn't really explain, all right, we're calling them gods. Okay, so to really understand the different things that we've been brought up with, so I'm going to talk a little bit more. Just a lot. It's a lot. It could be so overwhelming to try to see the good in this creature. All right. So we have to go back to the bottom of the ocean to really understand this energy. So let me see. So we got the sigil, the Baphomet, which includes a goat's head. Oh, I think I got it. Carnality and earthly desire. So positive associations, fertility, prosperity, sexuality, and abundance in various cultures. Some African and Native American cultures. Some of them use goat's blood to fertilize the crop so that they can yield a good harvest. All right. This is also represents intelligence and wisdom in some ancient and Near Eastern cultures. Myths, goats symbolize intelligence, wisdom, and problem solving, particularly in the figure of God. Is it God Enki? Okay. Nobody wants to be linked to the devil. Nobody, believe me. All right. Nobody. Oh God, you worship the devil. All right. So let me read a little bit about Samuel Johnson, which he speaks of. The chain has no strength stronger. Wait, the chain is no stronger than its weakest link, and life after all is a chain. Life after all is a chain. Okay, the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. So the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. The chains of habit. So you could be a chain smoker. All right. Ooh, this has a lot of things. So I have wrote so many things here, and I didn't organize it. All right. The pursuit of pleasure and power and personal empowerment. And the rejection, this also represents the pursuit of pleasure, all right, and power and personal empowerment. And the rejection of traditional religious morality according to the figure of Satan as a symbol of rebellion. So he represents rebellion, individualism, and self-indulgence. All right? It rejects the existence of all personal responsibilities. The sigil of Baphomet features a goat's head with an inverted pentagram and is primarily used their rituals and publications. Overall, Baphomet serves as very complex, by the way, embodying themes of duality, transformation, and in the blending of these opposites. It is a multifaceted, while it represents great wisdom and prosperity, also carries a negative connotation related to Satanism, evil, and the rebellion in various culture and historical. Okay? At aesthetics, selling pain, love, joy, peace, all right, the pursuit of pleasure and power, the paradoxes, the esoteric codes that are hidden, the unlocking some truths here with the chain. So if you were told, oh wait, what I got here? Temptation doesn't come as evil; it comes as shortcut. It comes as your own voice saying, "You suffer enough. Just take the crown." Jesus didn't just resist. He sinned in the desert. He didn't resist the sin in the desert. He resisted the easy way out. The enemy offered him a kingdom of the worlds, the glory, following instant status, and he refused that. All right? Not because the kingdoms were evil, but because the timing was off. All right? In the original Greek, the word isn't about desire, it's peramos, a word that means test, proven trial by fire. This is not about escaping temptation, right? It's about passing through the furnace and not mistaking the flame for your home. So this goes really, really deep. Thank you for the person that's here watching. All right? Because the crown without the cross is a counterfeit. You are becoming, no, you're awakening. Stay long to the, so if you stay long and it disfigures, you flee too fast and God stays hidden to endure, to not to escape. This card is so deep that I'm going to go in a little bit more on this card. All right. And so we're going to look a little bit more for those that really, really want to know. All right. And this is really deep. But I really want to get this energy out. So it's more. I got more. I got a lot more. I just really want you to understand. Because we have to. I mean, I know I can't go back hundreds of However long it's been, because I really can't really tell. All right, what else? All right, I'll be back with another live when it comes to the devil. And to when you see, because I can't listen. One thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna leave no cards out. And every time you get this, you're gonna be like, when it's like this, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean a damn thing. When it's on the reverse, that for me is telling me that now you are. To me, if I see this card in reverse, it's just telling me that you are definitely willing to follow, religious belief. That you no longer, you're not feeling empowered, right? You're not feeling empowered. You're giving into the what the religious wants you to conformity. All right. So when it's in reverse, you are gonna listen. You are the earth. All right. You're gonna want the pleasures because we are controlled by the five senses. You got to understand that what we see, smell, that is the soul's energy. All right. You got to understand between the soul and the spirit, they are connected. All right. And you cannot banish this. You got to do therapy, right? Because you got to learn how to sit with. You got to sit in the middle of the energy, and have the balance between, you know, the things that are healthy, good for you or not. You're gonna have to learn how to do the alchemical work here to transform the energy. All right, but not to choose sides with yourself. You are the earth. You're gonna want to have sex. You're gonna want to sit. I mean, whatever you think sin is. You know, this is the erotica. I mean, so you got to really understand this energy. Uh, yeah. Sometimes we know things. We do like. Don't stay too long in the path, right, on the left hand path. All right, because at the end of the day, like if you grew there, if you made it, come back to the light. Come back up, because you're gonna merge to the divine anyway. But you sometimes we gotta have that discipline. Just because in reverse on me, oh, you know what, you decided not to do your own thing. You decided that it was too hard. You asking for now. You asking, like, oh, I want to be this good person, and none of us are good, not even one. And so when you really got to understand how to have really control of this animal, the animal has control over you. So it's really, really difficult but I am gonna do whatever it takes here to really bring this energy out, because if you're not aware of your animal, because a lot of the don'ts in the Bible, so the animal doesn't take over, right? It's two parts of the body, which is your reproduction and your survival here. Okay, so you really got to understand. This is time to level up and really understand this energy here. But I don't leave no cards out, right? And understand the Saturn's energy. Saturn he's the planet that nobody likes, because he makes you do the freaking hard work. So if you want money, if you want success, you have to have discipline. You have to have balance. There's got to be structure. Structure and order is going to be your best friends. All right. Even if it looks, even if like that devil or that energy is screw, you're gonna have to do the work. All right. If not, you want premature power, you want instant following, and then whatever the case may be, success here. All right. You're not willing to do the hard work. So this is what this is given to Capricorn, because they are willing to do the hard work that none of us will do. All right. Working long hours. All right. Because this is not about wanting putting in the long hour, the work in to get the things done. So you really got to understand, this is nothing but a symbol that they use, which is like any other animal. All right, they put some horns on it. Will just come from the sea. If you look at our evolution as a species, right, this represents the seashells that are at the bottom of the sea. All right, so when you really understand this, it'll blow your mind. But little by little, hopefully, I come. And then when Anton Lavey in 1966, or however the symbol's been used of the goat, or then you got Saturnian, and then you got the Saturnalia. You got so many different descriptions to this. And so to really, how long I've been here? 34 minutes. That'll be like an hour and something kind of video here to do. But listen, you are the earth. You're going to want the earthly pleasures. And sometimes you get stuck in a bad relationship, in a job that you don't like. You probably wind up doing drugs and you don't really like them. How do you free yourself? Because the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So you have strength there. All right. And because you're strong, that's probably what's keeping you. You're not really understanding that your strength is what's keeping you in your addiction, your strength. Okay. So learn how to be a little vulnerable and ask for help. All right. Learn, because they naked, so they gotta be vulnerable. It's okay. You be vulnerable. Ask for help if you need it. If you got chains, because they say if you got chains, he's a chain breaker. God, So always remind yourself that God is your instant supply, and that you belong to something so amazing. So if you're in the dark, right, try to find the balance between the dark and the light. Try to center yourself. Try to really, you know, like become one with the energy, with all of it. So you could really start waking up to your true power, and that any addiction. See, I'm not really good when I talk about these things like that, because it could be food. It could be you could be eating a lot. It could be a lot of sex. It doesn't have to be drugs. What are the things that are keeping you stuck here? What are the limitations that you put in on yourself? What are the fears? Once you face those fears. So to really understand that card, everybody has their own way, right? So if you're in a relationship, you might be restricting your person, who they're going to go out with, their social friends. This becomes obsessive and jealous, right? Demanding, so this, because the energy is cruel. And listen, not a lot of people like to do the hard work. Some people say, you know what, I just give you just the follow, let me go ahead, and I'm not going to be willing to put the hard work. This is all about descending to the final test. And so when you get the 3, all right, the 15, it gives me the 6. And the 6 is about balance. It's about doing the hard work, your routines, right? And things like that. So you really got to understand, this is what this came out. And this is what this came out. All right? You don't mind putting in the hard work. So you got the strength of 10, right? You don't mind putting in the long hours, the hard work to be successful. All right? But when you are successful, right? That's it. I mean, you made it. And that animal is going to give you that strength. There's going to be the way that you connect to the animal, because it's in our DNA. It's not going away. All right? Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'll be back with another live. And I'll see you guys. Hopefully somebody helps and understand a little bit. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.